Good morning, Ruskin enjoyers. It is time for the 48-hour analysis, but let's just quickly point out what's going on. I'm actually doing this on stream. It is kind of late for me, but clocks did change. It's gone an hour ahead, so it's just about the right time to talk about this roster, I guess you could say. I've just done a third day of the Uterus charity event. There is one more day tomorrow. That's when our special protective dome disappears, so we'll see what happens. In total, we've reached just over $4,000 at the moment. Lovely people have been donating, so thank you once again. You might notice potentially some donations go through in the top left. We'll see what happens. Anyway, the main focus of the video are this rush store and trying to figure out how much each of these skins are likely to sell by next week. Now, I've also just got to bring this up just to get set the tone. It's a weird rush store. This rotated in very late, and it's expected to be an early rush store next week as well, because it's going to be the April 4 swipe, an update. So yes, typically you tend to have an early rush store when a actual proper update goes through. This just about is going to have 6 days as a rush store. So now that you understand that, you'll understand that maybe we can get a good idea of what this likely would sell if it was going to have 7 days. But you should probably expect a lot of the sales to be on the lower side of things. So, I'll generalise an idea of what potentially might be the total sales by next Thursday. You get the idea. Just remember, it's awkward. We don't even have abnormals this week. So we can't, wait to the very last second, do barters, then consider making purchases. No. We don't have that ability this week because it was such a late rush store. So, Anyway, let's just kind of jump in now. So I'm sure you understand. We're going to try and figure out how much of these likely to sell by next Thursday. But there will be some awkwardness. We will be comparing to previous week's rush stores. But, okay, I'll try my best. Let's just try and figure this out. So the Sakura AK47, you have done 7,700 subscribers after the first 24 hours of sales. That's cool. But, back over to here, I'm looking at it and it's now just about 11,000 subscribers. This is actually cruising ahead quite nicely. It's at $3.49, and yet still, it's doing very nice sales. So people clearly do appreciate the anime. People clearly appreciate the lovely pink design. So, cool, it's all good. Feel free to comment below if you happen to like this. If you don't, you could moan about it, but I think I've already fully well aware a lot of people don't seem to like this type of design, but you should be expecting a lot more from now on. Just not this week, though, because it's the Easter submission. So, back over to here, looking at the skin. If we were to do a comparison, I think we could probably look at you could look at the beauty industry locker. Can we go further back? Is there anything else that can compare? You could probably look at the Commando MP5 as well. All right then, let's go do that then. So hopping out of here, looking at the previous week. Although remember, because the roster rotated so late, this got some extra time. So if I were to look at this beauty industry locker, okay, is it probably going to be 18,000 subscribers? But then again, when I looked at this last week with the 48-hour analysis, I thought that was going to do between 17 to 20,000 subscribers, and 18,000 was just perfectly in the middle. So, okay. But then back looking at the MP5, that did 16,000 subscribers. You know what? Part of me would just probably stick with what I did with last week with some of those skins. What was it? The Senior Tomato Rock and the Beauty Industry Locker. I said 17 to 20,000 subscribers. Looking at that MP5 though, the price doesn't seem to be that much of a problem. But we don't have the people at the very last second doing barters and then making purchases. Maybe it is going to be between 16 to 19,000 subscribers. All right, maybe I'll go with that. If it sells more than that, all right, okay, interesting. But that will still be less than the Kiss AR that did 30,000 subscribers. So just remember that. Kiss AR on the Steam market right now at $7. So, okay. It very likely might have a pretty interesting future ahead of it. And maybe we'll see some collection continuations as well. But we're not going to see that for a while. Because as I said just a little bit earlier, we are expecting the Easter 2025 skin submissions over the course of this weekend. So, okay. It's $8 now. Well, then, there you go. It's an even bigger bargain, I guess you could say. So, all right, cool. We got a good idea of that. 16 to 19,000 subscribers. What about the B metal door? So, okay, I have to go back over to here. That did 5,869 subscribers. Still a bit unsure, but cool, that's a bit of a distance there. So anyway, if I were to compare, what could I see? What could I compare to? Which also did about 5,800 subscribers. I'm looking around and there isn't really that much. That's a bit of a concern, isn't it? Huh. Well, I'm looking. What can we compare to? Because I'll be honest with you, I think we can only really compare to the likes of that, the All or Nothing Garage Store, which is another deplorable. So, all right then, I guess we'll do that then. So, back over to here. Let's go back to February 27th. We could just add a bit more, but yeah, that only did 12,400 subscribers. But then again, you are also sitting in a position of you don't really expect this to sell that much, of course, with the amount of time it's going to be in a rust store. And of course, nobody can do abnormals. I think what I'll suggest, I think I'll go with 11. But it is at 8,000 at the moment. But then again, you know, I'll sit here and say 11 to 14,000 subscribers. Okay, if it does pick up some momentum, maybe it'll probably go up to about 14,000 subscribers, but So, all right, yeah, 11 to 14,000 subscribers, which probably isn't that much for a transparent glow-in-the-dark sheet on the door, but that transparency isn't exactly super helpful. But it's a bee-themed door. Okay, well, we'll see. So, okay, 11 to 14,000. Now we move over and look at the Gunhouse sheet and double door. But considering these sales are fairly similar, maybe I'll probably do both of them at the same time. So fish bandana as well. Collection continuation to, well, the fish collection. More specifically, last week's fish bucket helmet, which has been doing pretty nice at the moment, considering that is now comfortably at $3.60. Barda's pushing up to $3. Looking pretty good. That instant continuation was doing a big favour for that, so nice. Did you buy any? I bought 30. Right, so, okay, let's go back over to here. That did 5,300 subscribers. This did 5,000 subscribers. If I were to go back a fair bit, is there anything I could compare to? Part of me thinks I probably could look at tire hide clothing, maybe. Is there anything else? I'm looking. We have the Blackstone door. Okay, we could look at both. We could get a good idea potentially. So let's go do that. With the sheet metal double door, I think it might be selling just a little bit more compared to what we're going to see here. But then again, tire hide clothing. That did get that extra bit of time, so that's currently sitting there at 11,600 subscribers. And then the week before that, we have the Blackstone sheet metal. Well, that also did around the same amount. Okay, I think for the for the sheet metal double door and this fish bandana, looking at the current sales each, maybe 10 to 12,000 subscribers. That's not bad. That's actually quite low. I've seen this in-game. Consider watching my rust rotation video to get a much better look at this skin. The skin creator did a very nice job. When you look at this in certain lighting, the silhouettes of all the guns kind of give off this weird white masky effect. It's strange. Again, watch the video there. You'll see it for yourself. You think, oh, that looks really cool. But a sheet metal double door that potentially will only go up to about 12,000 subscribers. I mean, that is definitely on the lower side of things. So just to reiterate, we had a lot of sheet metal double doors that came out back in 2024, and we were getting a bit worried about that. But looking at it now, right now, as in at the end of March, as we're just about to roll into April time, typically, especially when you look at previous years, this time would be a very bad time for Ruskins. They'll be at a low point. All of these sheet metal double doors that aren't holiday themed, they're doing very good. They're doing great. So, also, let's just quickly do this. Look at all of these based on subscriber counts. Well, this is on the lower side of things at the moment, and if it were only to go up to about 12,000 subscribers, it's only going to basically be in the middle. That ain't that much, and I think the skin will be getting a collection continuation. This is a guy that is, well, he's just got his first ever skin accepted. Typically, of people who get their first ever skins accepted, they'll then immediately try and make a collection continuation, you know, see if they could get any momentum with that. I think we can potentially see something very interesting. That $3 price might be a bit of a worry, because again, higher price skins, it can be a bit of a struggle for them to maintain their price, but it also can lead to not that many sales, and I'm thinking that's what I'm seeing with this. So, I'm curious, but it's going to have to be a situation of, am I just going to want to stick with doing a purchase? Just to remind all of you, whilst we don't have abnormals, every single skin will become marketable at the exact same time, Thursday evening, going into Friday morning. So that would mean Friday 1 a.m. next week UK time. That is where it is. So yeah. Now again, the Rust store could rotate, but none of these will be marketable until we actually see that time happen. So yeah, just want to make that nice and clear. All right then. So, Fish Bandana, if you're going to end up between 10 to 12,000 subscribers, you will be selling more than the bucket helmet. And I've clicked the wrong thing there. Okay, Fish Collection, yeah. Bucket helmet, you're happy. You've got something to pair up with immediately, and of course the rest of this primitive collection. But I should point this out, this bandana, whilst it might have a little bit more than this, it's still quite considerably less compared to the burlap clothing. I mean, the fish head wrap got 42,000 subscribers. Funnily enough, that still looks like it's going to sell less than the fish shoes. And that did like 13,000 subscribers. But then again, back then less people playing. All right, fair enough, point made. So, yeah, I was a bit worried that might be selling a little bit too much if it's going to sell at 99 cents. No. So, a green bandana. Have we seen that happen before? Of course we can. We've got like default designs. We've got the jungle camo. No, it's forest camo and just standard green. But the one thing I was thinking of was the banana leaf bandana. That did 16,000 subscribers. Comfortably in the positive. I think this is looking to be very good. I think it's looking to be perfectly fine. So, not expecting ridiculous sales. That's cool. Let's now move on then. Factory new SAP. And we could also pair up the Cryo Fridge because these got very similar sales. Right then, so looking at the... Oh, wow. So factory new SAP has actually eclipsed the Cryo Fridge. That might be slowing down more and more, and this might be increasing. So, okay, cool. 4,600, 4,500-ish. Can we compare to anything here? I'm looking... I think we could probably look at the Death Metal Fridge. That'd probably be all right. Is there anything else we could compare to? You could probably, if we're going to do the fridge, which had just a little bit less than 4,500, like you got the 4,700 subscriber Fallen Gloves here, so maybe we'll do that comparison. So over to here, let's get a quick look at that fridge. And remember, this got an extra little bit more time because that Rustle rotated late. So that's sitting there at 9,300 subscribers. And if we could go back to the week before that, we have the Fallen Gloves, and they did 10,000 plus subscribers, just about. I think... Looking at both of these two skins here, I think they're going to do between 9 to 11,000 subscribers. Now, Factory New SAP, I think, is more likely to push up to 11,000 subscribers, whereas the Cryo Fridge is more likely going to end up at 9,000 subscribers. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we just saw a whole bunch of fridges being accepted in March probably isn't doing this any favours, because chances are people have already bought a fridge they want. Do they want to buy that one as well? Well, I don't blame them, because, that's a very cool looking transparent glow-in-the-dark fridge. But this SAP as well. If this is only expecting to potentially do between 9 to 11,000 subscribers, then if I were to compare that to the other SAP skins of the past, more specifically, I've made a bit of a fuss about this, Black Diamond SAP and Blackout SAP. Blackout did 18,000 subscribers, Black Diamond did 11,850. This could very likely end up very similar to that. However, I have debated this, and again, you can go look at my Rustle rotation video and see it for yourself. Is this even a black SAP? Based on what you see here, it looks like it, but it's actually it's got like a mirror effect. It's metallic, it's reflective. Hard to understand until you see it yourself, but I'm more in the position of I think it's just a metallic SAP. It's nothing wrong with it, it's fine. It's just I don't think we can really compare to the Black Diamond and the Blackout. I don't really think it's a black SAP. But that $3 price very likely might be a problem. However, SAPs don't really do a terrible job. Like they do a very good job of retaining their value. In fact, take a look at all the SAP skins that we've seen over the past couple of years or so. Right now, I did say this earlier, it should be the worst time for skins in terms of, well, typically around this point in the year, a lot of skins will reach a low point. Then we approach the summertime where skins rise up in value and reach a new high point. And then afterwards, auto-fall seasonal dip back down again. But then again, we then steer towards Christmas time again, and then post-Christmas all over again. So this should be bad, and yet SAPs are doing very good. They're retaining their value. They're in the positive. This is what we saw during the summer of 2024. And this is what we see right now in Easter time. So, But don't assume it's going to be huge gains. These only go up to by plus 34, plus 26, plus 62. Actually, that one's done very good there. But yeah, they don't really rise up that much. Very likely to retain value nicely, but don't expect huge gains. We'll see how this plays out. That fridge, though, I'm worried more based on the idea that if we keep seeing more and more fridges being produced, there could be problems. I did point out that this upcoming weekend, or over the course of this weekend, it's expected to be Easter skins. Guess what? Oh no, Giant Bunny fridge. I am expecting a lot of Easter-themed fridges being produced. I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least a couple being accepted. What are your thoughts? Feel free to comment below. Why did he put an X right there? Oh, algorithm, why? So yeah, be prepared for such a thing. That might have some trouble simply due to the fact that more fridges get accepted afterwards. And we can't do abnormal borders. Alright, fine. Cool. Let's now talk about Tyre Tier 2. And I'll be honest with you, Tyre Tier 2 and these two boxes have very similar sales. So I think we could probably do all 3 groups of them. Yeah, alright then, let's go do that. So back over to here. Looking at the boxes, just under 4,000 subscribers. And then the Tyre Tier 2, you have like 3,800, 3,900 here for the kilt. Alright then, what can we compare to? Well, you do have the fish bucket helmet if you want to compare to some clothing. But if there is a deplorable, what can we see? There is Harbour Seal large box. Maybe you could look at Sunken Garage Door. You're just going to sit there and go, for a long time? Yes, it's fun. I guess that probably is a good bet. So, all right, then, let's go see the bucket helmet and then maybe the Sunken Garage Door, I guess. Yeah, all right then, fair enough. Let's go do that. Right, so back over to here. Let's go look at the Sunken Garage Door. What was it, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, yeah. That just about did 9,500 subscribers. And then if you were to look at like the bucket helmet, we just saw that. Went to the wrong one. This only got about 8,000 subscribers. Well, I'm looking at all of these. And, well, I think we'll probably go with 8,000 to 9,000 subscribers for all of these, and that's really not that much. Now, for the boxes, that's fine. You know, I'm fine. Whatever. That's fine. But with these, they're starting to pick up pace. And I don't know if word's getting around, but this is actually a pretty interesting blackout alternative. But we are starting to see a little bit too many of these blackout alternative options. You should also consider, it doesn't matter, if we see those collection continuations, that's spiking them on. That's going to spike in price. Maybe it might not drop off immensely quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a continuation for a while that might struggle. But that kilt more specifically, black kilts tend to do very nicely, all right? They tend to do very nicely. You might moan about the blue and the red there. Not even noticeable when you look at it from a bit of a distance. So, okay, that's looking pretty cool. That's looking very nice there. But these two boxes, well, small box first. I've seen a lot of gimmicky boxes produced by Mr. 38 in the past. Nothing wrong with it. People like it. Gets a lot of traction on Twitter. Cool, nice. It does get appreciated to a point, but the values of them do not retain. People do not... they don't buy them that much afterwards when in the Steam market. So... just based on what I've learned in the past with his collection, I don't have a lot of faith. Best 2 items this week. We'll talk about that at the end when we're finished. So, okay, that's a bit questionable. Base boxes have left me a little bit... But the Whittle Bloom, I'm curious about this. This is a very cool carved look and design. Talked about it and showcased it on my Raster rotation video. I'd love to see a continuation. But again, Easter skins next, so... Devil door, small box, locker. Oh, a locker like that would be awesome. That would be really cool. But it's up to the skin creator, and we can only look and see what he puts in his workshop next. So, all right, we'll see. All right then. So 8,000 to 9,000 subscribers for that lot. That ain't much. Now let's talk about the iSize sleeping bag. So, you have sold a fair bit less. Not too far off, but still a little bit less. So. Yeah, you only did 3,400 subscribers. If I were to compare this, again, I could look at the fish bucket helmet, 8,000 subscribers. I could also look at the ISISR. Now, this actually went all the way up to 8,600 subscribers. Yep, there you go. So that'd still be similar to the skins we just talked about. I'm looking at this more on the lower side of things. I really don't think people are super eager to buy another sleeping bag, especially a frozen one. Trying to remember my position. Sorry about this. Whoopsie. Where have I gone now? So sorry, it's late. I did a really long stream like the day before this. So looking at you, I think this is going to be more like 7,500 to 8,500 subscribers. Just a little bit less. Now, that really ain't that much, especially in terms of when you compare it to all the sleeping bags that have sold in the past 2 or so years. Now, you might point out Frankenbag. He's a holiday-themed skin. So, I could bring up the Valentine's gift sleeping bag. Now that's done a very, very, very good job of being in the positive. Initially, when we had these two skins, Lover Giorgio and this one, Giorgio got a lot more support and a lot more interest because he's a lot more funnier. This was just a perfectly standard looking sleeping bag. But as time went on, too many of those appeared in the Steam market, caused problems, price went down. This didn't have that much. People respected it and liked it, graciously and slowly rose up in price. So that worked out very nicely. So maybe you could see something like this, but just to remind you, we have seen another like cold themed, frozen themed sleeping bag somewhat recently. Chances are you probably already own it. Chances are you probably like that more, and it's also a bit cheaper right now, so you could just pick that up instead. So hey, a sheer lack of sales could probably work out very nicely for it, but just to remind all of you, ISI collection isn't really that in demand, unfortunately. Yeah, a bit awkward. So I'm still conflicted. I'd love to do the bilders first if I could, but no abnormals this week, and that is one of the main problems with this week's Rustor. We quite literally just had to take into consideration, okay, do I actually want to buy it without the buy orders, or do you just take the risk and just stick with doing buy orders? Like at the end of the day, right? If you got more than one account, you could do what you'd normally do with a buy order, but then with your second buy order, you could just go very close to the Rustor price. Maybe it does drop off. All right, fair enough. But at the end of the day, you still bought it cheaper, and you didn't buy it straight from the Rustor, so maybe that will be the smart approach. So we'll talk more about that next week when we do the abnormal barders. Look in the description of my video right here that you're watching, and you'll see the links to all my socials. My Twitch link will be there on Wednesday night around maybe 9-10 p.m. UK time. I'll be on stream. We'll be discussing the prices and they'll be chasing after them. Clocks do change, of course. It's already happened. I've already mentioned that. So from here and now, for the next 6 months, abnormals are 1 hour later, 1 a.m. UK time. It used to be midnight for the past 6 months, but of course, clocks changed. So, okay. Overall, things can look very appealing though as time goes on. Just remember, we are like literally on the cusp of preparing to anticipate for the summer. So these might just end up like retaining for a while, then go up in price. I'm very curious about that AK. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are comparing it to the KSAR. I've seen this in game. Watch the Rust Rotation video one, or watch the short video. The anime girl on one of the sides has like a big bolt, big nut like sticking out over her ball. She looks like an android, cyborg. So I'm not sure if that's going to affect the sales, but I am expecting a continuation at some point. So we'll see how that rolls out. We'll see how this grows as a collection. But as Mr. Pablo asked, what do you reckon is the most interesting thing to potentially work out nicely this week? I'm in the position of the fish bandana. Oh, actually, okay. Gunhouse sheet metal double door and tire tier 2. Followed by fish bandana as a comfortable third. I think fish bandana is just going to be selling a reasonable amount. It'll slowly be appreciated. I just don't think it'll be huge gains. Now, if there's going to be a sudden surge in fish collection skins again, all right, that of course will follow suit. But as you can clearly see, it's already holding up quite nicely. It's doing very well. But just to remind all of you, do you remember the fish roadside pants? That for a while didn't really work out super great. So as you can see here, in the first few months, it actually went down in price. Kind of suffered. At one point, only selling for about 90 cents. Now, just to remind you, it sold at 99 cents. So it went down in price, but not too ridiculously. Anyway, only recently has it really bounced up and surged in price. Maybe it's because we're getting closer and closer to this proposed jungle update, and people are looking for vaguely green camouflage skins, if possible. Fair enough. That's just a big assumption. But when I look at the tire tier 2, for example, having compared it to the Blackout Collection, it's only slightly more reflective than the Blackout Collection. And these are selling next to nothing. So I am expecting a continuation. I believe Mr. 1 on JM34633 will reliably put that out with some nice quality continuations. But again, the Easter stuff is in the way. That is looking to be quite appealing though. Again, it might not be for you, but if we get those continuations, doesn't matter, and people are always looking for a good, nice, affordable Blackout alternative, especially when Blackout is still holding up very, very nicely. Look at the prices. It ain't cheap, but you do have other options to compare to. Dragon Rage, Black Gold, Legacy Kevlar, Pirate Collection, Commando, Black Diamond, and there might be more I can't fully remember. You got the point. There's other options you can look at. But maybe these prices that they're selling for right now are still cheaper. Feel free to offer your own opinions, comment below. Now, as I hop over to here, Sakura AK, I'm very, very, very curious. Very, very, very curious. Every year, we'll have quite a lot of AK47s being accepted, but there's always usually one or two that will reliably retain their price and stay in the positive. Let's just scroll down over to here. So we can see we have the Black Diamond AK47 and the Thunder Gold AK47 from last year. They're both doing very nicely. Scroll back over here. We have Abyss AK and, of course, we have Kiss AR. Out of the many skins that are accepted during those years, right now only 2 each year are doing good. I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially see Sakura AK potentially being the one for this year. All right? So things are looking interesting there. Sheet metal double door. Sheet metal double door. I think it's going to be a reliable skin based on how reliable SMDDs have been. Why did I say it that way? But yeah, I'm curious. I just don't really. I don't fully think we're going to get that continuation. I think this is just a guy who's got his. It was his turn. A new skin creator at the end of the month. That's cool. But we've seen quite a lot of skin creators get their first ever skin accepted and then nothing afterwards. Omnipresent's another guy as well. He's been consistent with his uploads for submissions over the past few weeks, but I can't tell if he's definitely going to get another one after this. It's awkward. So yeah, all right then. Like, yeah is one of them. He was a guy that got a skin accepted 2 years ago. He got a couple more skins accepted here and there. He doesn't get tons. Yeah, so look at that. And then a year later, then he gets that. And he was doing some frequent uploads. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah. So there's a lot of information that's been put out there, and an extra little bit at the end. So chat, feel free to say goodbye to YouTube. And YouTube, I hope the video is reasonably concise. A little bit different because I am streaming this for this one. But it's a funny Ruster. It is a funny one. I don't expect ridiculous sales. The summer is just around the corner. This could have a very fun, interesting rebound. Might dip or struggle for a while as we go through April, but then it's May, June, July. I mean, just saying, Jungle Update, when's it going to come out? Not expecting it for April. Could be May, could be June. I'm expecting it to be at some point just as we have the summer vacation with all the kids and whatnot. I know, but they are going to be around, and this player count has been pretty strong. We look like we are just about going to have just over 110,000 average player count for March 2025, which is impressive. I wouldn't be surprised if April still drops off or is similar to this amount, but the summer, is it going to go even higher than this? Jungle Update, I think it will be happening. I think we're going to beat that all-time high, peak player count, 300,000 maybe. What do you reckon? So, cool. So, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck with you and your investments, and we'll see what happens next. But just remember, Easter skins next. This hasn't been updated, but I have been noticing some Easter-themed skins being submitted. Not everyone seems to have got the memo, but I don't know if I'm going to be making a Rust Workshop skin checks video this week. It's a bit odd. Right, anyway, catch you later. See you, goodbye.